order. Cumberland City Council meeting September 17, 2019. City Clerk, take the roll.
Councilman Keenan.
Here.
Councilman Carpio. Here. Councilman Hopper. Here. Councilwoman Suzanne.
Here.
Mayor Lincoln.
Here.
City Clerk is here. Solicitor Witt.
Here.
All right, so please stand for the pledge and please remain standing for the prayer. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to meet once again here in the city of Connellsville. We thank you for all the work that's being done. We ask that you be with our leaders and help guide them so that they can work towards the betterment of the city. Be with all of us as we try to bring our causes, as we try to bring our issues, and help us to be civil in everything that we do. We ask that you bless this meeting and everybody's here, and all God's people will say.
Amen. Thank you, John. Moving into public comment, just a reminder that each person coming up will be given 3 minutes to speak. We'll move on to the next. Solicitor Witt will handle that. Chuck, you are first.
Mayor Lincoln, City Council. This summer, someone has decided to find a way to attach motors to bicycles. We have a lot of motorized bicycles as a result. The young men that apparently are riding these motorized bicycles have little regard to the traffic laws. They often travel in the wrong direction on one-way roads, move against the traffic flow, regularly fail to stop at stop signs. It puts themselves and other people at risk when you're coming around, especially a blind corner. Several of them travel at night, and there's no reflectors or lights on these motorized bicycles, and unlike normal bike riders riding at night, they seldom wear reflective clothing. They have no. Just recently, a motorized bike turned to an oncoming vehicle on Pittsburgh Street, and that earned him a ride to the hospital. There was no lights, he just turned right into them. The driver didn't see him at all. I think these bikes can be useful, can expedite people getting from point A to point B, but there should be some rules, either normal bike riding rules, which we all observed when we were younger, or if they're not bicycles, just motorized vehicles, they should at least be street legal, and they're not. They're nothing that I've ever seen as street legal. There's just a motor on a bicycle, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's a nuisance stage or not, but it's growing, so we need to be aware of it.
Chief?
They have to obey the same traffic laws as vehicles do. So if my guys see them committing a traffic violation, they will be charged as such. But as far as the license, I don't believe that they have to obtain anything. I think that the state should probably look further into this.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Anyone else? All right. Next up, Peter Zandora.
Very good. Okay, start that timer. For the record, my name is Peter Jandora, Seaville resident for 15 years. The things that I am going to speak about tonight, most residents feel the same. I'd like to start with the Moors. More crime, more drugs, more needles all over the street, more prostitution, more blight, more gang activity, and from what I understand, 3 drive-by shootings in town. More lies and corruption. I have a question. This one is perplexing to me. How is it legal for the city to purchase with taxpayer money a lot for $150,000 and sell it short for $15,000 to Mr. Cellurell? The AG's office is looking into this and quite a few other things. More vacant lots, more abandoned buildings, more transients, more squatters, and more shops closing than opening. Mind you now, if this is deleted from Channel 20 and YouTube, you will be violating my right to free speech. There are no tourists, The bike trail barely supports our eateries. No industry, no jobs, no future in town for our high school graduates. No honor roll, no monument to our Olympians. But yes, we do have the Hitler tree, quoting you, Mr. Mayor, and a monument to a seriously mentally disturbed man, David Reed. May he rest in peace. As mayor, it's your job to fix these things, or at least try. I don't hear you addressing any of these problems personally, because apparently you're too busy working for the water company, singing karaoke, and challenging children to foot races. Here's a question, Mr. Mayor. Are you prepared to challenge yourself? If you don't fix these things or change the problems, you got a 50-50 chance that one of your kids will wind up on drugs. And be honest, this has already affected your family. In conclusion, why hasn't Brandy B been charged with a felony? She painted a Connellsville or a PennDOT property without permission of PennDOT, and you guys gave her permission to do it. And painting PennDOT property, whether it's graffiti or artwork, without their permission is a felony. I've been in touch with PennDOT on this thing. This could cost our city a ton of money, in upwards of $250,000, and potentially raise our taxes. My request is that you resign, Mr. Mayor, and give the city a chance to recover from your bad management. We got great boons, we got rail, trail, river. We don't like change, are the words of the moronic. God help this city.
Thank you.
Okay, Mary Grace Butella, you are up.
Yes, good evening. My name is Mary Grace Butella, and I'm an elected tax collector in Dunbar Township, but I grew up here in Connellsville. My grandmother had a business. It was a York bar that was very successful for many years. The reason why I'm here this evening is because I am very disturbed about the fact that you have placed a cell phone tower right sort of in the square of your city. You know, there have been documentation that cell phone towers can cause cancer, and I'm very concerned about that. So did you look at that before you went and moved ahead with the project?
I'll answer that. Yeah, we gave, and that was the answer that we gave you before. We did an extensive amount of research into it, and we did have one, that's when Jim McIntyre was on here. He raised that concern initially, and everything that we found out about it was negative to minimal of any kind of problems at all with it.
Okay.
Laceways, nothing that had longevity enough within the research to verify any kind of concern. So, but to answer your question, of course, we looked at that. This is possibly a potential danger.
It could
So,
be.
of course.
There have been lawsuits. There
Of
was a
course
cell
we
phone
looked
tower
into
in
it.
California that was in a school play yard, and because of the cancers in the
Well,
children.
we did not put it in a play yard.
Well,
We
you know
didn't
what? I
put
do
it
my
there.
banking. I do my
We-
banking right next door, and I'm sure there are families and children who live in the area. I think it was a very poor decision. Now, I have another question to ask you, and that is, in your zoning, it states that before there can be a, before you can apply for a permit, the applicant is to seek out other neighboring cell towers to see if they could share. Was that done?
What's that?
Okay, in your zoning ordinance, it states that before an individual or company makes application for a permit for a cell phone tower, they are to go to neighboring cell phone towers to see if they can share, even before they make the application.
Tom?
Yes, that was done.
And the other companies, the cell phone towers owners refuse to share.
That was, the refused to share part wasn't working. That was the ideal spot for it was there. The other spot would not work. The other spots, the towers would not cover the areas that we're looking at.
Okay, and I noticed it doesn't have a light on it. Should it not have a light on it?
It's not done
It's
yet.
not complete.
It's
They're
not
still
done,
working
but
on it.
it's also with the thought of that, this particularly why that was there. We did not have to, they did not have to go up as high to warrant a light. So there won't be a light on it because it doesn't meet that regulation of height.
Okay, how tall is it? Does anyone know?
I have taped it.
183.
About 108, yeah, that's what the assessor for Fayette County said when he came down to put it on the tax roll. How much money is your city generating per month?
First of all, let me just say this. We've had public meetings.
Right.
We've released all this information. Now it's built, and now you're coming and questioning us.
Well, unfortunately, I don't get the Daily Courier. I
Well,
get the Herald
it was put out
Standard.
everywhere.
Well-
It's on our Facebook, our
Okay, but-
YouTube, our Facebook,
You know
our city
what?
website,
I'm sorry I
every
missed
form.
it, but I think it was a poor decision, and I think you may face lawsuits down the road.
Oh, well, I guess we will face it, but we get $900 a month.
Idiot.
Excuse me?
I said that on my car, my camera's an idiot.
We get $900 a month. If they add another cell company to it, we'll get additional monies from that. That's what the city will get. It's put on a lot that was dead, could not be used for anything else, and it's in a perfect spot. It's not around any homes, not around anything. And at the height that it's at, the radiation or whatever it's supposed to be giving off dissipates before anywhere near the ground.
So you've already did your study on
We've
it?
already did our studies. It's all available on connellsville.us. Anyone out there, it's been on there for at least a year. All the research that we put on there is on connellsville.us, and you can look under the cell phone tower stuff and read it yourself.
I would have never made that decision.
Well, that's pretty good that you're not in the city then.
I grew up here in the city.
Well, you're not a resident.
I would never put the residents' health at
You're not
risk,
a resident.
because that's what you're doing.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to that.
See, this,
Thank you.
this is anybody with a fax machine and a copy machine.
Listen, this is
I have
America.
never heard of
Everyone's
these
entitled
people,
to their
don't know
opinion.
anything about them. I get a little bit tired of people coming in with a piece of paper because it's got a letterhead, and they claim that they are very
No,
good
I
at
don't
what they
claim
do.
anything, but
So
there are studies
we
out
have
there,
done
and there is concern
that
out
work.
there. That's all I'm saying.
I just resent that this council puts its best foot forward to not just save money for this town, but to make money for this town. And that is exactly what we've been doing. We've gone from $600,000 to in the black. And it's because of hard work like this and years of determination to get something
Well, I'm
done.
sure there could have been another area if you put this up.
Well,
But that's.
Believe me, you know where else they wanted it? In our city parking lot. And we said no, we weren't going to put it up in the middle of our public parking lot by our library. That's where they wanted it. And this is the only place in the whole city that it could go, is right where it's at. There's no other place for it.
And I will also say, I just looked at this article, and it's dated 2008, and I know that a lot has changed in the past 11 years, probably since this article was done and the study was done on this, but I know that there was countless amount of meetings and studies and efforts that was put in before we made that decision to put that cell phone tower up. I know I'm speaking on my behalf, but I know I'm probably going to be speaking on everybody here's behalf. We would not throw a radiation tower up in the middle of the city that would infect our residents without doing our homework first. And I guarantee you that homework was done. It was done.
There have been links to cancer from cell phone towers. If you've done your homework, you would know that.
There has also
are
been
links.
links to cancer
There
from
are.
using your cell phone every day, from using your
That's
computer,
true.
and
And cell phone towers too.
but
That's true.
I will tell you that we made sure that we got the studies and everything back from the cell phone tower, the company that built it, and they ensured us that it is safe. And that is why we made that decision to put that up. And if we would have heard anything other than that, we would not have done it. I
Which
guarantee
not
you
one
that.
person came to our public meetings.
And nobody
to
came
say
to the
anything
public
against it.
meetings.
Okay,
Nobody
but-
said
but
anything.
now I'm here at your meeting telling you there could be a potential problem in the future, so now you're aware of it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wiltrout.
Yeah, this is tough act. Oh, jeez.
tonight,
Here, you forgot your post.
I didn't forget.
Do you want?
I have a problem with our street. I brought it up to the CDBG guy, whoever he was last night, and I told him grant money. I am the longest continuous person on my street. There's older people on my street, but actually living there, I was born in '60 and I'm still there today. And our street has been paved one time. Now, me and Vernon talked last night, but I've seen other streets in this town being paved 2 and 3 times. York Avenue was paved at least twice, and now they put a water line in. You're gonna have to pave it again.
That's PennDOT.
That's PennDOT? I did not know that, sorry. But this street's only been paved one time.
Which street is it?
Johnson Avenue, Connellsville. McDonald's,
Yes.
drag strip. I wish I could attach a ball to a string for everybody that was speeding up and pull it so that ball would run out to slow them down, but it'd cause a car wreck. But here is parts, the sidewalks are so uneven, and somebody gonna trip, slip, fall. It's just, they need fixed. Now, I know the terms that me and you went over with, but the water line's 103 years old, and you said the line was put in 1987. The gas line. Vern, I was up and down my street two times,
What I get from you.
and you can't even see where they dug up and paved over. There's always a separation mark. And nobody on my street that's my age can remember them putting a gas line in. Now, there was 2 gas leaks on our end of the street that they did repair. But as far as putting a new gas line in, but our street definitely, it's like the moon, and when it isn't the moon, it's a drag strip, but that's here and there. But they definitely need something done to them.
Well, let me address the sidewalks. The sidewalks are the responsibility of the homeowner.
Even with a CDBG grant,
Well, I mean, we definitely could use money for that, but that is the, according to our third-class city code that the city has to follow, the sidewalks are a responsibility of the homeowner.
okay?
That's, I mean, that's, if Tim wants to clarify that anymore.
No, that's exactly right, because the
Because for some
homeowner owns from the edge of the street.
Okay,
back
now
to
the
the
bottom
property
half, the
subject to
bottom
public
third
right
of
of way.
Johnson got all new sidewalks and repaved like 3 years ago, I think.
We definitely paved. We paved, what's
We treated as bricks.
What- what's that cross street? What's the cross?
Gibson,
Gibson.
We paved Gibson.
Yeah.
And we definitely paved part of Johnson.
yeah,
Yes,
and they
we
got
did,
sidewalks
definitely.
too. Now, was that
I don't know if we didn't do the sidewalks though, did we?
Redevelopment did the sidewalks.
Redevelopment Authority.
So
did
I gotta do the
sidewalks.
redevelopment.
Well, that's what you did last
That's what
night.
you did
No,
last
that's
night.
what I
That's
did
what you
last
did
night. I
last
don't
night.
understand all these initials. Sorry, I'm not a
Yeah, the
politician.
Connellsville Redevelopment Authority does our
I'm
community
trying
block
my
funding.
best here. But here, I'll let you see the photos, and that's the street we live on. And that's some of the sidewalks we live on.
Did we fix the stop sign, Chuck? Because I know that was one thing that somebody took the
I'll
stop.
tell you what, the stop sign on the one-way street, I come down and complain to Vern, it was up the same day.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The stop sign is
Because I
up.
know as soon as I mean, our guys are pretty quick at that, especially stop signs, because you know that definitely can cause accidents.
There's been a lot of potholes that have been refilled.
Here's a petition, one for the CBD guy, one for Jens. They're not all there, I still got like 13 people to get, but there's 40-some names on there for a petition to get our sidewalk
You
fixed.
want to take this for review?
With me being on oxygen,
Do they want to have?
It's tough for me to get around.
He said he was 13.
now they both say CDBG, but one is for Jens and one is for him. But there's like 15 more people I gotta see, and with me being on oxygen, it's hard for me to get out, but I will have more names for you.
Thank you.
Okay?
I mean, definitely we want to pave your street, but we don't want to pave it and then have
Well, there
the
is
American
one
come
pothole.
and destroy it, because if they come through and replace the main, they'll pave part of it and we work it out with them, and then it doesn't cost as much for us to finish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, there is one pothole that's not on here. If you try to avoid it, one way or the other, you're gonna take somebody's mirror off.
Do you have access to the internet?
No, I don't. I'm not.
Well,
All
then,
you have to do is call this city. Call here. They'll give you my cell phone number. I'm in
Okay.
charge of the public streets.
Okay.
I return everybody's call. I take
Okay.
everybody's call.
Good, thank
If you
you.
got a pothole, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, they do. They do put it in, but then when it's 2 weeks, everything's back out again.
Yeah, if there's water coming up from underneath.
Well, it's
But we do
cold.
have this thing now called a crack sealer, which I can do a nice job filling the pothole
Wow.
and then actually put the tar around it so water doesn't get
I'm
under
home
it.
all day in the morning. I live on Johnson Avenue, 416, big red brick house, white roof.
I'd be more than happy to do it. I
I
would.
don't look at it.
Yeah,
But it's only been paid one time in 59 years.
yeah.
And there's other streets that are the same way.
But it just amazed me how some streets are getting paved when they don't even look like they needed it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we will take these
Yeah, done.
and
Okay.
submit one of these to
Those are the
redevelopment
copies,
authority.
because I got 15.
I was gonna
20
say, if
minutes
you have
more.
any more signatures, you can certainly drop those off
I
as
will.
well.
I will.
But that is 3 minutes, so thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Rothschild. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
coming
Yep.
in.
Try to get you hooked up.
I don't see anyone else here signed up to talk, so we're gonna move right on to the city treasurer's report, and then I don't see Marilyn tonight.
She's not here.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
He is right about them motorcycles, bicycles, whatever you want to call them. I sit on my front porch and they're going up Fayette Street constantly.
They're very loud too.
And they're
I mean,
annoying.
I'm surprised we haven't heard them outside here right now, because normally during our meetings, they have a couple of them that drive down March Street.
I forgot one thing.
Yes, sir.
Can you put like slow down signs on our street for kids?
We don't
No, we don't do that.
we don't have those signs.
We have those only around playgrounds and whatnot. Honestly, motorists should slow down for every street.
Now, if
Shouldn't
I
have
put a
to
ball on
remind
a
us.
string and pull and the ball runs out, am I liable?
You're fine. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's not on tape.
Oh, no, I'm on TV now. Sorry.
Well, everybody has the city treasurer's report. Ms. Marilyn's not here. Go on to city controller report. Bruce, you're up.
Mayor, City Council, as you can see there, we're going to start with the PNC. At the beginning of August, it was at $135,687.75. The reason it's at $50,000 right now is because we moved $85,000 over to the investment account that we have at Somerset Trust. And the investment account right now, it's not on your paper, but it's sitting at about $850,000. So it's collecting interest for us. The Somerset Trust started out at $303,700.